There's a different kind of energy surrounding the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Not the roar of Arrowhead. Not the flash of playoff lights. Not the final drive of a championship run. But evaluation. Calculation. Quiet preparation. While the rest of the league debates headlines, the Chiefs are in Indianapolis at the 2026 NFL Combine doing something far more important: studying the future. And if you look closely at the names, the meetings, the patterns, a strategy begins to reveal itself. This doesn't feel random. It feels intentional. The first clue? The sheer number of offensive playmakers connected to Kansas City. Wide receivers. Running backs. Versatile weapons. Prospects lining up at podiums and saying the same thing: playing with Patrick Mahomes would be a dream. That matters. Because when multiple receivers express excitement about Kansas City, it tells you two things. First, the Chiefs remain one of the league's premier destinations. Second, the organization is clearly exploring ways to inject more explosiveness into the offense. After stretches last season where the offense felt inconsistent, speed suddenly becomes valuable. Separation becomes valuable. Versatility becomes essential. And the Combine meetings suggest Kansas City knows that. Look at the running back conversations. Several prospects confirmed direct meetings. Some even referenced how they might fit into the Chiefs' system compared to previous draft picks at the position. That's not casual dialogue. That's projection. That's planning. Are the Chiefs preparing to reshape their backfield identity? Are they looking for competition? A long-term solution? A complementary piece to diversify the offense? The volume of interest suggests something is building. And then there's protection. Miami offensive tackle Francis Mauigoa didn't hesitate when asked about Kansas City. He said it would be awesome to block for Mahomes. Simple statement. Powerful implication. Because protecting number 15 has always been priority one. When the pocket is clean, the offense expands. When Mahomes trusts his protection, Andy Reid's entire playbook opens up. Deep crossers. Extended plays. Shot concepts. Controlled chaos. Strengthening the offensive line isn't glamorous. But it's foundational. Now shift to the defensive side. If the offensive meetings were noticeable, the defensive ones were impossible to ignore. Edge rushers. Defensive backs. Physical disruptors. Auburn defensive lineman Keldrick Falk even made a bold remark about pairing with Chris Jones and creating problems for offenses. That kind of confidence aligns perfectly with Steve Spagnuolo's philosophy. Pressure. Disguise. Controlled aggression. Kansas City's defense has evolved into a unit that thrives on versatility and intelligence. And that brings us to one of the most intriguing names from the Combine, linebacker Sonny Styles. His measurements and testing numbers turned heads. Nearly edge rusher size. Off-ball linebacker movement skills. Speed that matches modern offensive tempo. Some analysts are already floating him as a potential option if the Chiefs remain near the top of the draft board. Imagine that chess piece in Spagnuolo's system. A defender who can blitz, drop into coverage, spy mobile quarterbacks, and close space in the open field. That's not just depth. That's transformation. But the Combine wasn't just about meetings. It was about performance. And at tight end, the numbers sparked serious conversation. Kenyon Sadiq delivered one of the fastest 40-yard dash times ever recorded at the position. Eli Stowers followed with record-level explosion in vertical and broad jump testing. Those are not ordinary metrics. Those are matchup nightmares. Now consider this carefully. Travis Kelce remains the cornerstone. The heartbeat of the passing game. But the Chiefs are a forward-thinking organization. Dynasties don't wait for decline. They prepare for transition. Adding an athletic tight end now wouldn't signal the end of an era. It would signal the continuation of one. Another subtle detail from Indianapolis says even more about Kansas City's mindset. During interviews, prospects were reportedly asked to draw up coverage schemes and explain responsibilities. That's not a casual question. That's a test of football intelligence. The Chiefs aren't just drafting traits. They're drafting processing speed, awareness, scheme adaptability. Athleticism gets you noticed. Football IQ keeps you on the field in Kansas City. And then there's something else. Several prospects referred to the Chiefs as a dynasty. Others described playing with Mahomes as a dream scenario. That cultural gravity is real. Young players entering the league see Kansas City as stability, as opportunity, as legacy. But here's the truth about dynasties: sustaining them is harder than building them. Reloading requires precision. And everything from this combine suggests the Chiefs are not rebuilding. They're recalibrating. Offensive weapons, trench reinforcement, defensive versatility, long-term succession planning at key positions. This doesn't feel like routine roster maintenance. It feels like preparation for the next chapter. And if you're enjoying this kind of deep breakdown on everything happening around Chiefs Kingdom, make sure you subscribe and stay locked in. Because this offseason is just getting started, and we're going to cover every move that shapes the future of this franchise. Back to the bigger picture. Draft decisions are rarely about one season. They're about trajectory. The Chiefs understand that the AFC isn't slowing down. Quarterbacks are getting younger. Defenses are getting faster. Windows close quickly in this league. So Kansas City is doing what smart organizations do. They're evolving before they're forced to. Maybe it's a receiver who adds vertical speed. Maybe it's a running back who changes the tempo. Maybe it's a defender who becomes the next foundational piece. Or maybe it's all of the above. What's clear is this: the combine wasn't noise. It was a message. Kansas City is preparing. Quietly. Strategically. Intentionally. And when draft night arrives, don't be surprised if the move they make isn't flashy, but calculated. Because that's how sustained contenders operate. The next chapter of Chiefs football isn't about reacting. It's about staying ahead. And from everything we've seen in Indianapolis, they're already thinking 2 steps forward.